Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 10 of the F224 Andrea Kimi Antonelli career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here in the Ardenne Forest for the Belgian Grand Prix. If you missed out on the videos that went live last weekend from the Hungaroring, I would highly recommend going back and checking out Paul Aron. He's becoming a little bit dominant so far this season. He's on a 43-point lead over our teammate Ollie Behrman after yet another feature race win last weekend. We are 1 point back behind our teammate, but now we head to two of my favourite tracks on the F2 Canada. Belgium this weekend, of course, Andrea Kimi Antonelli's home weekend next time out as well at Monza. We're going to be looking to try and get some big results there. Effectively, we've got 5 weekends to go with the campaign, so it's not impossible that we get back to Paul Aron at the top of the table, but we are going to need a little bit of luck on our side as well. If you're new, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. We're trying to hit 140,000 subs here on the channel at the moment. And yeah, let's head out then ready for the Belgian Grand Prix. Well, before we get into any racing action then this weekend, we've got to try and sort out the grid order, and that can only be done with a one-shot qualifying session here in the Ardennes. Of course, we've seen just how good the AI are over 1 lap pace. Will that continue this weekend as well, though? I must admit, I do love this version of Spa Francorchamps inside this game. I think, yeah, they've really done a good job with the update there, as up through a Rouge and Rally on we go. If I've learned anything this season, it's that low downforce seems to be the way to go about things. So I'm running 4 and 2 wing on the car. That's levels that I wouldn't even normally run at Monza inside this game, but it seems to be working for us as purple through that first sector. Now it's just a question of how well can we try and hang on around the rest of the lap. Of course, Paul Aron has taken back-to-back pole positions in the last couple of weekends, and that has allowed him to take back-to-back feature race victories as well. So we need to try and beat him at his own game. So we make our way down through No Name there. A fearsome Blanchimont up next. Just dab the brake on the way in. Oh, a little bit wide on the exit, but we keep it just on the curbing there. So we'll get away with that one as we open up the car on the exit in towards the Fanny chicane. It's such a roller coaster of a venue here at Spa, but I absolutely love it. And I would love to try and claim pole position as well. They're a little bit hesitant on the exit of the Fanny chicane, but now we've got to try and get a good run through Stavolo as well. We are practically even, and it is Paul Aron who is currently in the fastest driver, but as we just nudge a wheel in the gravel on the exit, that might be a real difference maker. Are we going to be able to try and carry speed up through Blanchimont towards the end of the lap? We get a pretty nice tidy run through there, but Paul Aron, is he about to make it 3 pole positions in a row? Nice and early on the brakes through that final bus-stop chicane. We go really difficult. Try and put the power down. It's going to be so close, though, at the line. It is P2. How close were we to the Estonian by the end of that? Well, there we go. Paul Aron takes pole position by just 6/100ths of a second. And once more will continue to extend his World Championship lead. We end up P2 there, splitting the high-techs on the front row. Joshua Dirksen in 4th ahead of our teammate Ollie Behrman. Bortoletto finally gets his car back inside the top 10 for the first time since, I believe, Austria. And just like Austria as well, Colapinto and Hauger, they're going to have a front row lockout ready for the start of the GP. Pepe Marti will be disappointed down in P15. And Rafael Villagomez 6/10 off the pole. Only good enough for last. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The margins in F2 are probably a little bit too small inside this game. But let's see what we can do, though, as we head into the race.
So today, the sprint race. No pit stops, just full-on pace. It's all about speed, daring, and sheer driving skill. What, I wonder, is in store for us today? So Spa is normally a very fast track, but in these conditions, we should probably temper our expectations a little. This track, located in the sprawling Ardennes countryside, features 9 rights and 10 lefts for a grand total of 19 corners and a lap distance of 4.3 miles. It's Formula 2, it is the sprint race. I'm Alex Jakes, Alex Brundle is alongside me. Now Alex, there's no mandatory stop in the rules, but this is Formula 2. Anything could happen.
Well, there were plumes of dust coming off the cars at the beginning of free practice, so not a lot really. Quali's on the other compound of tyre usually. So for the sprint race, you kind of finger in the air, figuring it out.
Well, here we are then down on the grid, and as you can see, slippery conditions again just like what we saw at Austria. Could this really harm us in the early laps of this sprint race here? I'm tempted. It's a shame the team won't let me. Oh, we could try soft compound tyres and just see how far they go. It's only 9 laps here, so it's not going to be a particularly bad track for tyre wear. But I just think, yeah, we've got to try and gamble something a bit different if we want to have the advantage early on. And maybe that extra grip is going to be useful as well. You know what? We're going to go for it. There's always a chance of a safety car as well in these slippery conditions. It's 5 red lights down on the grid. And it's going to be lights out and away we go then, trying to manage the wheel spin on the run in towards turn 1. Dennis Hauger certainly hasn't. And we're going to fly straight past him in towards that first corner there. We get down the inside of a handful of cars, including our teammate Ollie Behrman there, until we just nudge the wall on the inside of La Source. Luckily, no suspension damage or anything like that. We've already gained then 3 places off the start of this one. I assume Eau Rouge is not going to be flat out. It's not actually as bad as I thought it would be, though. You can see we do get a really nice run on the exit of the corner there against our teammate as well as CORDEEL and Paul Aaron side by side a little bit further back. You'd assume High-Tech would just tell AMAURY, you know, this stage of the campaign, we know it's your home weekend, but all our focus is on your teammate, and he needs to try and get a good result what was possible. Talking of a good result, that's not one way to go about it. Oh, it's Paul Aaron. Sorry, that is AMAURY CORDEEL. I was going to say, less surprised by that one. Paul Aaron normally has a very, very clean racer. AMAURY CORDEEL is a bit more ragged. As, yeah, not what we wanted to do on this opening lap. Everybody just feeling out the grip. But sometimes, to find the limit, you've got to push the limit. We have just about kept it on the island. And after all of that, we're still up 1 position then. As Spa in the rain, lap times here are going to be well in excess of 2 minutes early on. But as we get towards the end then of lap 1, I believe it is still Franco Colapinto that is leading the way ahead of his teammate Dennis Hauger. Yes, it is. That bus stop as well, I'm really, really worried about going up against the AI. I mean, yeah, they're just going to have more grip, more traction through that corner throughout the entirety of this sprint race, especially whilst it's still raining. But Eau Rouge seems to be the one where we can gain the time on the other side of that. The gap 1.06 on the way in. And if we just flick it down a gear there, I mean, look at the speed we've been able to get on AMAURY CORDEEL that time around. Surely not going to be able to get anywhere close to him by the time we make it up the straight. But that's really good to know that we've got that in the back pocket. The AI are often a little bit peculiar around Belgium, even in previous years' games as well, on the old version of Spa. But yeah, you can see AMAURY CORDEEL just starting to struggle around a little bit through those opening few corners of Sector 2. I mean, yeah, it's just so difficult to try and find a way through. I mean, based on the tyre wear by the end of lap 2, I think we should be fairly safe here. As long as I don't light up the rear wheels too much. 7% wear a lap. They're not going to be fun by the end of this, but they're not going to be too bad either. We're breaking down in towards that bus stop chicane. I don't know if the AI, they might be using first gear on the exit. That might explain why I lost as much as I did. But you just see that arrow straight on the exit.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
I mean, I will take that fastest lap bonus point as DRS now. I mean, that's a brave choice. DRS enabled in these conditions, in these cars. But, I mean, if it makes our life a little bit easier, then I'm not going to complain now, as Paul Aaron still tucked up right behind my rear wing, but as the track does start to get more grip, I mean, that's completely flat.
Still looking good.
That is completely flat out up for Eau Rouge now, despite the fact that it is still raining. How much grip and downforce have these Formula 2 cars got? As are we going to be able to have a look down the inside of CORDEEL? Late on the brakes. No, not quite there. We just get a little bit too wild on the exit. That will mean the Belgian will hang on for now. We might be able to get a run down the hill on him.
Going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres.
Oh, CORDEEL again. He just kind of had to dodge us on the exit there as well. Paul Aaron gets involved as well. So Paul Aaron trying to get 2 for the price of 1. We're still 3 wide on the exit of the corner there, as down the middle we'll try and survive. This is like bumper cars early on. As CORDEEL, again, we'll have the inside line in towards Blanche, sorry, Pouon even. And yeah, he will hang on to that position then. So after all of that, we're all still exactly where we were. And maybe High-Tech have told him, you know, just defend from those primers. We need to do everything we can to help Paul in the other car. Now he's gone and lost a place to Zach O'Sullivan. Until he hasn't again. Well, the AI just seemed to really struggle with the high downforce stuff around this circuit. It's down the inside. Well, of AMAURY CORDEEL. He's just turned in on me. Not too sure what that was all about. Now he's going to try and cut the final chicane to regain the place. I mean, again, how on earth the AI can put the power down off of that corner as now Zach O'Sullivan wants to try and get involved in it. We're accidentally going to have to send it down the inside again of CORDEEL at turn 1 there. And every time we make contact, every time we just lose even more time to those cars in front. Now we're going to see CORDEEL and O'Sullivan maybe side by side in through Rouge and Radion, so I think this is going to be our chance to try and just get away from the pair of them there. Hopefully this isn't going to allow Paul Aaron a bit of a window to get involved, but already a 5.5 second gap to those cars in front. We are ahead of AMAURY though, and that is important. Well, the rain has now stopped then in this GP, and unfortunately that might actually work out worse for me. Now you can just see Joshua Dirksen. I know obviously he's got the DRS as well, but he barely loses anything up through Rouge and Radion now, so I've just got no idea. The AI just inside this game seem to have way more traction and downforce than kind of what I'm able to extract out of the car. Now, I'm certainly not the best person in the world in F2, but I like to feel like I'm fairly competitive, and it is just near impossible to compete with them. Luckily, at Belgium, obviously it's not many laps in either of the races. I haven't got many to try and navigate left. Again, I mean, out of that corner, we are completely flat out, and still Zach O'Sullivan able to get the run on me here. Luckily, I mean, we seem to... I'm running 4 front wing, 2 rear wing out of 50 in these cars. The AI must genuinely be running 0-0 to have less speed through the high downforce stuff than I do and still be able to hang on. This Colapinto now sets a 203. We are going to do a 204. Yeah, we're losing time to those cars in front every lap, but could I try and snooker the bonus point? Well, that's going to be even more difficult to do with Zach O'Sullivan breathing down my neck as we make our way up the Camel Straight. I had many battles with him last weekend as well, and looks like we're getting another one here in Belgium as we try and throw the car up over the curbs. Zach O'Sullivan now, I think he's just completely mugged us off on the exit of the corner there. He'll move up and into P7 then, so luckily if we were to finish here we'd still take a point out of Aaron, but obviously he gained 2 on Friday night on me, so not really what I need. Well, this run down through Rouge and Radion is going to be pretty pivotal in deciding our last couple of laps here. We're still in the range of Zach O'Sullivan as we make our way down, but on the exit of the corner, are we going to be able to get close enough to him to potentially try and have a look back past the ART car there? You can see taking plenty of curb up through the top of Radion. And as we open up that DRS then down the Camel Straight, are we going to be able to get close enough here? We are gaining. It's nice to have quite a bit of competitive straight line speed as down the inside of O'Sullivan will go. We actually went purple through that first sector as well, which I guess is nice. And we will still have some fight left in us. Back into P7 again. It would be nice to go into the main event. No, Paul Aaron and I have been even so far this weekend in terms of points. I mean, again, how does Zach O'Sullivan get the run on me up through here the way he does that time around? He's decided he doesn't want anything to do with it. And we'll just back out there as the AI, even in the dry conditions, they're blending off the throttle ever so slightly through that corner there as Colapinto has done a 2 minute 0.8. As you could not nudge that curve through those final couple of turns. We do a 2:01.7. There were definitely a couple of little mistakes on that lap, but I got no idea where I'm losing almost a second. I think once again, as we make our way out onto the Camel Straight, there's a sense of inevitability about what's going to happen here. Zach O'Sullivan again, tucked up in the wheel tracks, tucked up in the slipstream. Is he going to be able to go for it? He's going to send it to the inside, right towards the apex there. We'll try and just give him some racing room on the exit of the corner. We've had a lot of good battles with him over the last couple of weekends, and side by side off of the corner we'll go. Can we go the long way around down through the hairpin? So, I mean, look at that. He wanted to give me no room whatsoever. The AI in F2 definitely more aggressive than their F1 counterparts, and CORDEEL, I think he fancied a bit of a look again I will tell him absolutely not. We've got to try and capitalise where we are strong around this lap. But I think, yeah, we're going to have to try and run even less downforce as we try and make our way into the Grand Prix proper there. Huge moment of oversteer.
Final lap of the race.
Through that final turn, you can just see O'Sullivan will once again build up that gap down in towards turn 1.
5/10 a lap, 5/10.
And I think he's gone and got the range now, so we're going to be under pressure from CORDEEL and Paul Aaron as we make our way up the Kennel Straight. Unless we can try and do something to get a whole lot closer to Zach O'Sullivan in front. I tell you what though, one thing that has worked quite nicely is the the soft compound tyre. But I refuse to lose the place to AMAURY CORDEEL on this last lap. We'll give him the outside line and we'll just squeeze him right in towards the apex there. But you just see as we make our way through, if I get it absolutely nailed, we can take a little bit of time out of the AI. There's definitely still grip on these tyres still, but it's through some of these corners. They've just got so much more traction than me. Turn 8 seems to be the big one. Not help when I get a line like that. But they just every time can gain a good couple of tenths on us, whether I nudge the gravel or not. As Dennis Hauger then makes his way up in towards the final couple of corners of the Belgian GP sprint race. Sorry, not Dennis Hauger, Franco Colapinto even, I should say. Hauger, he threw away any chance of a win here on lap 1. It is going to be the Argentine once more, picking up the maximum points from a Saturday afternoon. And I certainly think, yeah, he'll be very, very happy with that one there. Out of the final corner, Franco Colapinto fastest lap as well to make it the full 11. He will take the win in the sprint here in Belgium. As Paul Aaron under pressure on the final lap, we get another point on the board.
It is time to start the party. Franco Colapinto takes the checkered flag.
It might not be the same points as the feature race, but it is the same podium, and they get to wave at the fans from it.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the MP Motorsport team, and I'm very happy to see them up there on the top step of the podium.
Well, there we are then. Franco Colapinto takes the dub and the full 11 points with it there. He got the lead on turn 1 and basically never looked back come the checkered flag. Isaac Hajar in P2 ahead of Gabriel Bortoletto. Crawford gets some well-earned points in P4 ahead of our teammate Dirksen O'Sullivan and ourselves there. Hauger actually just pipped Paul Aaron at the checkered flag as well in what must have been a photo finish a little bit further behind. But what does that do to the championship? Well, it does mean Ollie Behrman 41 points back now away from the top step there. We are 4 points behind our teammate, ahead still of Pepe Martin. Gabriel Bortoletto might move himself back up into P4, with Colapinto getting another good result as well. Could he still be a threat kind of in that battle now that might just be forming behind us? Anything can happen though between now and the end of the campaign. Prema once more will open up that gap ahead of High Tech to 48 points, so we're still looking pretty good in that regard. And I can't believe Van Amersfoort this season have scored just 8 points between both of their drivers. They've just had no pace and luck so far this campaign. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 2 returns ready for the feature.